Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. This week in the saga of Joe Biden, and literally everybody who surrounds Joe Biden is a terrible, chronic, repeated liar. Nothing but lie after lie after lie, which once again the media never seems to debunk. Fact checkers seem to just go AFK, away from keyboard. It seems as though Joe Biden's term in office is going to be a 4-year sabbatical for all these fact checkers, these phony fact checkers, and so we're going to do their job for him. We've got a couple Joe Biden and Biden administration lies that need to be debunked, and we got a whole lot of information dropping involving Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and their corrupt business dealings. We got some stuff to get into, a lot of information to cover, so we'll keep the intro swift. But before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so the first lie that we have to cover. The infamous Joe Biden claimed that he has absolutely no idea about any of his son Hunter Biden's business dealings.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China?
You know there's not one single bit of evidence, not one little tiny bit, to suggest anything done was wrong. You know that.
Mr. Vice President, how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business.
Joe Biden states on the record that not only was he never involved with his son Hunter Biden's business dealings, but he even goes beyond that and says he didn't even know. He was completely unaware and had no idea what his son was doing. A very interesting stance to make, especially nowadays, as more and more information is dropping, more emails are being released, more photos are being uncovered that are continuing to expose Joe Biden as nothing but a massive liar. Take a look at this. Joe Biden was a regular at DC Hotspot where he met Hunter's Kazakh associates. The day after Hunter Biden had dinner with Hunter's foreign business partners, one of them emailed Hunter thanking him for the opportunity to meet your father. Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving me an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It's really been an honor and a pleasure. As we spoke yesterday evening, would be great to meet today for another quick coffee. What do you think? I could come to your office somewhere around noon or so, before or on my way to the airport. After meeting with Joe, his brother Jim Biden, and Hunter to discuss their deal with communist China, Tony Bobulinski texted Jim telling him to, quote, thank Joe for his time. Great to meet you and spend some time together. Please thank Joe for his time. Was great to talk. Thanks, Tony B. Tony B being Tony Bobulinski, who said this.
I 1000% sit here and know that the big guy is referencing Joe Biden.
In 2013, Hunter traveled to China with his father aboard Air Force Two. During the trip, Hunter introduced Joe to his Chinese business partner. 10 days later, China issued Hunter's firm a business license.
A 2013 trip to China getting new attention this morning, not for what Joe Biden did, but for who he brought with him. His son, Hunter, joining the then vice president on the official visit to Beijing, along with Hunter's daughter, Finnegan. Unknown to the press back then, Hunter Biden was forming a Chinese private equity fund, planning to raise money, including from Chinese investors. Years later, Hunter Biden acknowledged that during the trip, he met with a Chinese banker, which his spokesperson describes as a social visit, not a business one. 10 days after the Biden's trip, Shanghai authorities issued the fund's business license.
Biden wrote college recommendation letters for children of Hunter's Chinese business partner, Jonathan Lee, with whom Biden met in China. In 2019, Hunter Biden complained in a text to his daughter that he gives his father, Joe Biden, quote, half of his salary. I love all of you, but I don't receive any respect, and that's fine, I guess. Works for you, apparently. I hope you can all do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard. But don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half of your salary. And here's a new one right over here. Joe Biden claims that he was never, quote, office mates with Hunter, but Hunter literally describes Joe Biden as one of his, quote, new office mates. Hunter had even made a key for him. Please have keys made available for new office mates. Joe Biden, Jill Biden, Jim Biden.
There's evidence that the president at one point was office mates with Hunter and his brother Jim here in DC.
It's not accurate.
Gong Wen Don, Chairman Yi, CEFC emissary, I would like the office sign to reflect the following: the Biden Foundation, Hudson West CEFC US. The lease will remain under my company's name, Rosemont Seneca. Joe Biden met with Hunter's Mexican business associates in the vice president's office. In 2016, Joe Biden brought Hunter on Air Force Two so Hunter could meet with his business associates in Mexico City. Hunter's business associates flew with them as well. In 2014, Joe Biden golfed with his son Hunter, Devin Archer, Hunter's fellow board member for the Ukrainian gas company Burisma. Archer is now in prison for fraud. Laptop shows Joe Biden attended meetings between Hunter and his Mexican business partners. Here's a new one: $54 million in Chinese gifts donated to University of Pennsylvania, home of the Biden Center. A government watchdog is demanding the U.S. attorney probing Hunter Biden in Delaware investigate tens of millions of dollars in anonymous donations from China to the University of Pennsylvania, where an academic center is named for his father, President Biden. The Ivy League college raked in a total of $54.6 million from 2014 through June 2019 in donations from China, including $23.1 million in anonymous gifts starting in 2016, according to public records. Yet CNN has the audacity to say this on their network.
I just want to deal in fact, because there is so much speculation out there, and there is zero evidence that Hunter Biden or Joe Biden did anything wrong here.
We should note, again, and you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, I want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong.
I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
I'll note again, because it's important.
There is no, I repeat, no.
There is no evidence that either Biden did anything illegal.
There's been no evidence.
There was no evidence.
There's no evidence. There is no evidence.
There is not an iota of evidence.
No evidence Biden did anything wrong.
There's really
no evidence
that Joe Biden
did anything wrong.
Nobody's ever accused there's no
evidence whatsoever that Joe
Biden did
anything
wrong. Got that?
Joe Biden did nothing wrong.
No evidence, you say, and Joe Biden claims that not only was he not involved, but he had absolutely no idea of what his son Hunter Biden was doing, when he seems to be along the ride every step of the way, doing favors for and meeting with various different business associates from Mexico, Ukraine, Russia, China, even boarding them on Air Force Two. And CNN actually expects you to believe that it's just a nothing burger. The only thing that I believe basically 100% is that Joe Biden is a massive liar, and that Joe Biden is the big guy. And with all of this evidence implying that Joe Biden was connected to this whole pay-for-play scheme, with everything that's been uncovered, everything that we know, if it was all legal, above board, no ethical issues, no legal issues whatsoever, then why is it that Biden adamantly denies all of it? The question is, what is he running away from? What is he hiding? It seems as though Joe Biden was involved and Joe Biden benefited. Hunter Biden frequently covered family expenses, texts reveal. There are all kinds of text messages showing that Hunter Biden was essentially paying for the entire family. For Jill and Joe and Jim, his own family as well. The whole Biden crime family was sustaining off of the corrupt business dealings of Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden was using Joe Biden to peddle power, peddle influence in Washington, because of course Joe Biden couldn't do it directly, so he was using his son as a proxy and getting a bunch of the benefits. Hunter Biden claiming Pop was taking 50%. The absolute corrupt media. This is what they should be reporting on. All they do is when a bombshell revelation hits, they cover it for maybe 5 seconds. They go on and on and on about how there's no actual evidence, it's all uncorroborated at this moment, and then almost allude that it could be Russian propaganda or it could be misinformation from the Kremlin. And it seems as though now even left-wing journalists are having a Kumbaya moment. A massive epiphany moment, with this NPR journalist responding to Glenn Greenwald. Greenwald writes, Twitter founder Jack Dorsey apologized and admitted it was wrong for Twitter to have censored any mention of the story. The Washington Post this week called for a media reckoning over what they did. Beyond those two, they all let their lie stand to this day. Laura Sullivan, who works for NPR, writes, add NPR to the list. Newsroom editors called it, quote, not a real story. The, quote, Hunter Biden laptop investigation may end up being a tax case, a hill of beans, or something else. details. But what it's always been is a story. Without even investigating it, newsrooms across the board, not just NPR, automatically deemed it either Russian disinformation, not interesting, as we saw from the Atlantic writer just yesterday, or quote, not a real story. There is little to no credibility left in the American mainstream media. Now, I've just realized right now that I've basically spent all of this video's allotted time on one specific topic, but as I told you guys at the start, we have multiple fact checks, multiple lies to cover. So let's move away from Hunter Biden's laptop really quick and do these last ones really fast. Here's another absolutely egregious lie from the Biden administration. You guys remember this moment right over here?
That we have information indicating Russia also has already prepositioned a group of operatives to conduct a false flag operation in eastern Ukraine. So that, Matt, to your question, is an action that Russia has already taken.
It's an action that you say that they have taken, but you have shown no evidence to confirm that. And I'm going to get to the next question here, which is, what is the evidence that they play? I mean, this is like crisis actors, really. This is like Alex Jones territory you're getting into now. What evidence do you have to support the idea that there is some propaganda film in the making?
Matt, this is derived from information known to the U.S. government, intelligence information that we have declassified. I think you know.
Okay, well, where is it? Where is this information?
It is intelligence information that we have declassified.
Well, where is it? Where's the declassified information?
I just delivered it.
No, you made a series of allegations and statements.
Would you like us to print out the topper? Because you will see a transcript of this briefing that you can print out for yourself.
That's not evidence, Ned. That's you saying it. That's not evidence. I'm sorry.
The Biden administration claimed that they had intelligence reports claiming that Russia was planning a false flag operation as a pretext to invade Ukraine. There were also claims of chemical weapons in a Russia-China alliance, teaming up in the act to invade Ukraine. And there was apparently this classified report, which I believe they made declassified, which the Biden administration was unwilling to provide or wouldn't give any of the details. And when challenged on it, they essentially said, well, you just gotta believe the government. You gotta believe your government. Well, now NBC News casually admits that there was no intelligence and that the whole thing was essentially made up.
Going on there, and what NBC News has learned about that claim this week from 3 different U.S. officials.
Yeah, that was a great example of what we're talking about. That was based on declassified intelligence, but we're also told the intelligence wasn't very clear about what exactly was going on.
One U.S. official telling you it doesn't even have to be solid intelligence when we talk about it. It's more important to get out ahead of them. Putin specifically, before they do something, it's preventative.
Another massive foreign policy blunder, another massive lie from this administration. And the way NBC just nonchalantly and casually reports on this stuff, well, you know, they just lied to us about something as serious as a Russian false flag event and chemical weapons. Oh, well, no harm done. Not to mention, I have a feeling this situation doesn't exactly help when it comes to foreign policy relations with foreign adversaries. But it's yet again just adding to the list of the pattern of lies coming out of this administration. Here's another one in the final fact check. More lies from the regime. White House says Pelosi's embrace and kiss of Joe Biden was, quote, not close contact. This is what they're talking about, by the way. Does that seem like close contact to you? Well, Jen Psaki is on the record claiming that this picture right over here is not close contact.
How can you guys say that President Biden was not a close contact with Speaker Pelosi when there is video of the speaker kissing him?
Well, Peter, the way that it is defined is by the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, and their definition of it is 15 minutes of contact within a set period of time and within 6 feet. It did not meet that bar.
Of course, in relation to Nancy Pelosi testing positive for the coup the day after this event. She also claimed that the Vice President, Kamala Harris, was wearing a mask during the entire event.
I will tell you that the Vice President has been wearing a mask inside. When there was a private greet, they were all wearing masks.
Well, as you guys can see right over here, another lie. And honestly, whether it was close contact or not or whatever it is, I don't care about any of that. I'm over all of that stuff. But the point is, even when the truth is on the record, there's video evidence, there's pictures, and you can see it for yourself, this administration will look at you straight in the face, straight in the eyes, and tell you that you are not seeing what you're seeing. It's a pattern of non-stop, chronic, repeated lying. I don't think the Biden administration has told the truth even once. And even if they did, even if they have, it's so rare, it's such a minority of the time, such a small percentage, that it might as well not even exist. That's a long video though, so that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.